welcome to Broken Shore for the Horde. I guess to be more precise, this is not Broken Shore at the moment. I am in Storm Shield and Warspear. Actually, Storm Shield's the Alliance City, but that's what I normally play. I'm here on a boosted Blood Elf Paladin. But yeah, I've got the quest to go and do the Broken Shore, so we're going to go do that. I hear I need to be ready for a Fields train, so we'll see how that goes. Horde music is way more dramatic than Alliance music. Just feel like that needs to be said. Also, I don't know Orgrimmar as well as I would like to. Also, apparently my keybinds are all messed up, or at least I don't have a mount. We're gonna fix that. There we go. So yeah, the main, so far, I mean up front, the main differences compared to the Alliance are you start in Orgrimmar, no shit. You're playing a Horde character, again, not a surprise. But the main point of the whole Broken Shore is to communicate a sense of loss and hopelessness against the Legion. So we're going to get that feeling here real good in a minute. But first, we get to go through Orgrimmar as normal, business as usual in the big city. A lot of quests because I have turned hidden quests on, and because this is a boosted character who has done nothing but Draenor stuff. So, you know. Oh, hey, Nefarian's head. That's been a while. Once you get close to where Broken Shore requires you to go, you do get to have a little bit of phasing, so it'll start to kind of simulate like what's going on here. So, starting with these NPCs. So if you've watched Louis' Alliance video, you'll know that this opening part here is basically a way to get undergeared or underleveled characters, since you can do this at 98 up to speed. So it gives you a food buff, it gives you a damage buff that has just a chance to proc and do a lot of holy damage. And it also gives you, oh yeah, an armor buff, that's right. And one thing that's worth noting here, and this is one of the big differences for the Horde, is that Alliance and Horde both get different access to special features. Oh, never mind, I guess Horde get poison damage. Oh, no, that's a healing thing. Okay. But yeah, anyways, see what I was saying. So each of the factions kind of get their own different bonuses for Broken Shore. So for the Alliance, there's the Lucky Item Vendor, who sells the different little things that you can buy, lucky white quality items like a shirt and stuff. And then there's also Elena's Bonnet, which you get from the Charred Locket that you actually have to loot in the Black City during the Broken Shore. For the Horde, they don't really get anything in the scenario itself, but what they do get back is they actually get access to a special NPC who you might recognize if you played during Mists of Pandaria. She is a troll who was around during the Siege of Orgrimmar lead-up patch, the 5.3 stuff, when they were trying to liberate the Barons. And she sells all the old Zandalari, or not Zandalari, the Darkspear troll bonuses. I have to find her and remember where she is, but she's hanging out somewhere here. There she... Nope. That's a Horde Cloth Quartermaster. Who will let you donate wool. I remember playing during AQ, so that's quite weird. Oh, cool, and I get to pick a fight with someone. I want to look ahead, because I feel like she might have been further down, maybe, and I just don't remember. Ah, there she is. Ravika, the Darkspear Quartermaster. Still level 90. Still sells the same goodies. while I did play and do this patch a little bit, I only did it enough really to get the title. So sadly, I don't have a whole lot of this stuff, but oh, hey, so they sell a bunch of tabards and stuff. Fortunately, you have to have earned them, so you know. Again, first Horde character, haven't really earned much of anything. This isn't actually my first Horde character. I've had other Horde characters. I did use my 90 boost on a Tauren Priest, but that Tauren Priest is now level 100 and has already done Broken Shore. So not really relevant to what we're doing here. So anyways, yeah, if you are doing the Broken Shore and you haven't, or actually if you haven't done it yet on a Horde character, Replica is worth it if you weren't around for 5.3, because you can just buy all the cool items from there straight away. Now we just have to go win a duel. I should make sure I have talents. Playing this as Prot, I just enjoy generally playing as tanks and these kind of things.
Our enemies will fall. Be ready for anything.
I just have to beat the stuffing out of these guys. I've never actually seen anyone lose one of these duels. I don't even know if it's actually possible. I would imagine that, I guess, if you played really, really poorly, maybe, but doesn't seem all that possible. Also, I do like, compared to the Alliance one, that the Horde get these little, like, stands here. Like, oh, they're spectators. Like, this is a thing that people want to watch. It's kind of cool, not gonna lie. But anyways, we're ready to start Broken Shore, so we're going to turn it in, get our 685 ring. Now we have a chance to get a weapon that's also 685. Because I am a boostard, getting a 685 ring is actually a big deal. So there we go. Gonna equip it. Now if you haven't noticed, these rings, basically all the rewards here are itemized like Legion items will be, which means any jewelry you get is stamina and secondary stats only. You don't really get to have primary stats on your jewelry anymore. So necks and rings just don't get it. So we're going to re-queue up for the scenario and get this on the road. Just have to talk to Captain Russo here, who will put us right back in the queue for it. Then off we go. Some cool looking boats. I do like how Garrosh has been dead for a while now, but the Horde still uses his like architecture and stuff almost exclusively. All the spikes and stuff. Shit's crazy. We're off to the Broken Isles. You can see how long the invasions have been going on at this point. There is fell armor everywhere around here. I've been playing a Goblin Warrior through the invasions to level him up, and now I want to just hit the Whirlwind button, which is 6 for that, so Shield of the Righteous. I want to jab that a lot, too.
I got a feeling we're going to find out. Alright, Horde troops, this is your stop. A beach lined with demons. Bring her in, snappy now.
Bring her in, snappy now. Hopefully this time I get to see the actual cinematic. The one cool thing, I mentioned this earlier too, but the one cool thing about Broken Shore that I really do like is that everything about it tries to set up a sense of despair. So the little cinematics and stuff interspersed here will give you like a very clear feeling of dread as everything just kind of unfolds. Like this one. Suddenly, boom, there's the Tomb of Sargeras. It's very large and very green. Watch out. That cinematic actually is the same regardless of your faction. That doesn't really change, thankfully.
Listen up. There's only one way off of this beach, and it be through all those demons and
So similar to the Alliance one, you just have to kill a bunch of ads.
surrounding this spot.
This isn't terribly hard. It's all very, very easy, but, you know, this is kind of here to give you your moment of prove yourself. It's also my first time playing Prot Warrior, or Prot Paladin in a while. I played, last I probably seriously played Prot Paladin was on beta, so it's been a little while. Been a hot minute. Let's see how good I am at it. The one thing I do like about this, and I normally wouldn't like, is that there are so many hunter pets with taunt on in these scenarios that you almost never have to tank anything, so you almost never take any damage. But I have an interesting talent loadout. I've got the one that allows you to always have the effect of Consecrate, so I just can hit Hammer the Righteous and just go to town. I'd like to keep Consecrate up because the damage buff is pretty substantial, but gives you lots of good threat, a little extra DPS. Not that tank DPS is terribly important, especially in Legion, but it's kind of good to have. Also, Barbie Paladin is the best. I do need to change out the belt though, because I still have the Dragon Soul tier belt, with everything else being the early Cataclysm tier. I don't know how this scenario selects tanks, because it seems like it gets a good mix of tanks in here. Like, I've never seen one with just 2 tanks. It's almost always been more than 2. So, you know, it is kind of nice in that, you know, any one tank in here doesn't just have to be solely responsible, and there's not really going to be a wipe if your tank is kind of crap, which is great, because this is the first thing new level 100s will do with their boost after they've done the, like, little trial scenario thing.
It is good to fight with you again, Lord Chief.
Yeah, very similar to the Alliance scenario. Basically, you push up the beach and towards the tomb. However, there's a bit of a split here, so you can see on the island here there's the Alliance side and the Horde side. They both take very different paths and never cross paths. There's never any point of interaction. Everything is split just with a little cliff in the middle, so that even though this is technically Horde and Alliance going together, you'll almost never see each other except for maybe little silhouettes if you look really closely. Like, you can look kind of over the ridge and sort of see players sometimes, but it's not super common, and you'll never interact with them directly. So, you know, if you heard Alliance and Horde shared scenario at BlizzCon last year and got like super hyped, this is not what you were looking for, probably. Thanks for stating that, Vol'jin. We can tell. However, unlike the Alliance scenario, well, similar to the Alliance scenario, you basically go all the way down into the city to meet your objective for the scenario, only to just get randomly ported back up the ridge. So you can have this cool little don't get hit by fire moment. So yeah, as I'm playing this, we're 5 days away from Legion. I'm super stoked. Probably the most stoked I've been for an expansion in a while. I didn't have quite this level of hype about Warlords, so really looking forward to seeing how this all shapes up.
It's about time you showed up.
Hey, look, I'm tanking. Hooray. I mean, I actually do like this scenario. I do like the Horde version a little bit better. I feel like it's just kind of... the design of it and the layout of it in terms of the way it all works is a little bit tighter. Which sounds weird, I guess, but, you know, whatever. That's how I feel. The Alliance scenario kind of meanders a little bit. There's a lot more physical space to it because it kind of explores the outer edge of the island. where this kind of takes you on a nice tight little path. And you don't have as much weight because the way it's built is at the very tail end, and we'll show that in a second here. You're basically what the Alliance players wait on. So as a Horde player, while Alliance players are standing there trying to see if they can get themselves killed by Gul'dan, you get to just kind of, you know, meander up the hill.
Spewing forth demons in the hundreds in the blink of an eye.
This one's similar, though, again, to the Black City from the Alliance side. You have the same objectives. You have caves full of Argent Crusaders,
I am in your debt.
and you then have, you know, the vehicles that you can use. All of it works very, very similarly to the Alliance side. There's not really any changes to it. And they also have the same objective for some odd reason too. The established sort of lore here is that the Argent Crusade has already been here, Tyrion Fordring is here, and everyone's trying to find out where in the world is Tyrion Fordring. So that's where we're at right now. We're just going to clear out the city. This quest counter over here, the nice thing about this too is that this is actually the shared element between Alliance and Horde. I say nice. What this actually meant in beta is that if you happened to log on and do Broken Shore when no one of the other faction was playing, you were effectively stuck, because it does kind of require both sides doing it. At least it did at the time. I'd imagine at this point they probably fixed that because, especially later on in the expansion, if people are trying to do it, I don't think you're going to be able to get like a full two sides, everyone doing it kind of thing going. It's a cool concept though. Like, I don't fault Blizzard for trying it. It's interesting, it's cool. It does give you a sense of camaraderie even if you don't immediately see it. Like, the only reason I even noticed it on beta is because we got stuck waiting because there was only 2 Horde players, and I was just watching as the meter very slowly filled up after we cleared out our entire side of the Black City. So it was kind of funny in that way, in that you're like just sitting there with your thumb up your ass like, hey, what's happening? And the answer was nothing. Nothing was happening. And I am tanking a shit ton of stuff. Holy fuck. I kind of prefer doing this now without the vehicles. Like, the first couple of times I did it, I always did it with the vehicles, but this I just think is more fun. You kind of get a better sense of what's going on with the Legion doing this too. Like, the vehicles are fun. Like, they did actually kind of make them kind of cool, but at the end of the day, they're a 2-button gameplay, and I much prefer 3-button gameplay. So there you go. Yes, that was a joke about pruning. Oh, an imp mother. And she did. I think Imp Mothers might be one of my favorite new mod types from Legion, just because their model is so like silly in a way. Yeah, where Alliance get their leaders, you get Vol'jin and Sylvanas and Green Jesus. Oh, but it's really awesome because instead of Jaina's ice bridges, you're going to get Thrall rock bridges. Oh, sorry, spoiler alert. So you go and you catch up to Thrall, and he's doing shaman things.
Spirits of Earth, aid me.
Sylvanas is not impressed. I'm not impressed with the geometry on these bridges. They look super plain. Like, the textures look unfinished. I'm nitpicking at this point, but it's for fun. I do actually like this scenario. I don't want it to be something I'd repeat a whole lot. You know, right now I'm doing more demon invasions than anything on all my characters, but especially characters on this server I'm leveling to try to have sort of like a Horde server and an Alliance server, because I've never really played that much of either. I've basically just played Alliance, and I've had, you know, a couple of main characters. But yeah, this is one of the elements of it where it kind of sucks. Like, we're waiting on catch-up here, so Alliance players are still getting across the bridge. Our Horde raid here is pretty much assembled and ready.
Gul'dan, you will pay for this.
Stay back. It's a trap. The light will protect me.
Oh, Tyrion.
You stand before the temple of a god. Your pitiful light cannot reach you here. How fortunate that your friends arrived just in time to watch you die.
I'm trying to see if I have a selfie camera. I can't remember if I do.
Destroy him.
Or what it's called. Oh, there it is.
The light. Well. Thordring! All you have worked for, all you have sacrificed,
Selfies.
just to see your champions to
Oh. Pretty sure I had the rainbow generator. Let me see.
destroy them.
I picked the wrong target. Ha. Oops. So yeah, where Alliance get the first crack at Croesus, Horde players get to do their demon phase first. The phases are basically exactly the same. It's just a matter of what order you're doing them in. So here we are as Horde players doing this first. We'll get our crack at Croesus in a moment, but then we'll get a real crack at Croesus in early 2017. Spoilers.
Time to show the Alliance how we slay demons.
Back to the Nether and to the Earth. We have a lot of different taunts going on here. The nice thing about Croesus in this whole phase is that players can tank him if you have particularly good threat. But the NPCs are perfectly content to just stand there and take all the damage. And you can't really, like, fail. It's not like the old school scenarios where if an NPC was present, they have to live. Like, they'll make themselves live. And it's up to you to handle your own shit.
We've got him this time. All forces, concentrate your fire.
Also, we can see if he has legs. You want to check that out? I know I do. He kinda has legs. Uh-oh. I need to find the shore. A broken shore. But there. Now we've answered the question. Does Croesus have legs? The answer is yes. Yes, he does. He's not like, oh, God, why am I forgetting the boss in Ulduar? The bridge standing dude. Okay, I'm looking it up. I don't care. Kolagarn, that's who I was thinking of. But yeah, Kolagarn kind of had like stubby legs, like they didn't actually look like they would work. But Cormorant appears to have very legitimate legs. He is far better equipped than Ragnaros was at his introduction into the game. And there goes Croesus.
We've got to stop Gul'dan before he summons another one of those things.
And you'll see level 98s in here with heirlooms, pretty common because it is a great source of experience. Actually, you can get about a full level from doing Broken Shore at 98 or 99. So if you're sick and tired of doing Draenor content, this is the way to level. I mean, along with invasions, because invasions are pretty fun still. And, you know, they're ending pretty quick here. By the time this video is up, you'll have 4 days left to do them. So, but yeah, see, our Alliance had this nice, long, complicated run to go stand in front of the vault, or the tomb, rather. We have a much shorter run and more enemies to fight. Ultimately, if we want to actually see the Alliance players finally and see that this is, in fact, truly a shared scenario, we can go up to the ridge here and you can look down, and there's your Alliance group, and there is Gul'dan.
There is nowhere to run from thy master. Now, witness the true might of Lord Sargeras.
This is the one thing I wish that Horde players got. If I was just a Horde player, I'd actually be kind of peeved about this, is that you get to see all the cool named demons as Alliance, and as Horde, you just don't. Like, they're down there. You can go check them out if you really wanted to. Like, committing suicide, I guess. But you're kind of stuck watching from a distance, and you don't really get to have the cool, like, name experience where you're like, I recognize these guys. So
Forces of Azeroth will triumph today.
you get to see a couple of named ones up here. Like, there's Vizul and Mazgoroth and a couple of others. Some of these guys don't really matter. There are some lore demons that are hanging out in the scenario, but most of them are actually rare mobs and spawns in Broken Shore, or in Broken Isles. So when you actually start to get playing around in the expansion, you'll start to recognize some of them if you were paying attention, or if you know wiki them, because internet. And this phase on any computer is kind of a shit show. All these demons. The cool thing about the Horde one compared to the Alliance one in this phase, though, is that you do get to do a lot of fighting here. Alliance players are kind of sitting there watching everybody, like, kind of barely approach them and hug them. We actually get a real fight here, and you can die up here. When I was playing my undergeared Tauren Priest, I did in fact get murked up here. So, very, very possible that you can fuck up and get killed. But you can also do a lot of damage. Or if you're me, you can do very mediocre damage in my shit 640 gear. You know, whatever works for you. Get to see some Valkyr hanging out. That's pretty cool. Valkyr are going to be very important for us in Legion. We got Stormheim coming up, so Vrykul are going to be back in. All that lore is coming right back into the focus. And cinematic.
They're coming from behind! Cover the flame!
War Chief!
Do not let the Horde die this day. Without the Horde, we'll be overrun! We must retreat!
Get everyone to the gunship.
Everyone, fall back!
Take this to my son.
who sacrificed his life for nothing. For the Alliance.
Oh, damn. The thing I find interesting is, if I remember correctly, that last frame for the Horde one is actually a slightly different view of Varian's weapon. So it's not like you're seeing exactly the same thing. There are some slight differences in how it's presented. But once you're done, we're back at Durotar, back over by Orgrimmar.
What do you need?
And we now get our War Axe of the Horde Vanguard. Well, I do, because I'm playing a tank with a one-hander. So that's an upgrade over boost armor, so there you go. 645 Atom level. Oh boy. But now where this would kind of be more or less where the Alliance one more or less ends. You get to do the throne room business with Anduin, but for the Horde, of course, you're not going to go see Anduin become king of the Alliance, so we will instead go talk to Saurfang. So Saurfang hanging out in the keep. But you'll notice here this is a phased version of Orgrimmar, so the keep is actually closed here. You can't go into Grommash Hold until you talk to Saurfang, because we're trying to protect the Horde leaders. But he'll let you in, because you're obviously a hero of the Horde. And then it very quickly phases everything rapidly to show you just the basics of what you're supposed to see, which is Vol'jin clutching himself. Kind of an odd animation, but it conveys what you're getting at. So while this will be hidden in the video, the leaders of the Horde are basically debating what to do now that Vol'jin is kind of on the throne here, about basically gasping for breath. And the Alliance is pissed off at the Horde because they were left to die, effectively. And here we go.
War Chief.
The lower spirits say death will claim me soon.
In the end, death claims us all. But the Horde will live on.
I have never trusted you. Nor would I have ever imagined in our darkest time that you would be the one to save us. The spirits have granted me clarity, a vision. They whisper a name. Many will not understand, but you must step out of the shadows and lead. You must be War Chief.
Vol'jin is dead. Who among you will help me avenge him?
And there it is. Sylvanas is the new war chief, and the Horde's all fired up to go avenge Vol'jin. Which is a fantastic motivation to go to Broken Isles and start stomping on demons. Or, you know, dealing with invasion. But, there's more. So, first of all, pretty much all of Orgrimmar for this phased instance empties out to here. There's quartermasters, there's trainers and guild vendors. You can actually, humorously enough, there's an innkeeper here. And if you try to set your Hearthstone while you're here, it will make the blockade out here your home. Not inside Orgrimmar where this innkeeper actually comes from, but it will actually make this very spot will become your Hearthstone. So you have all of your Horde leaders basically up here. Now, it's easy to miss because the game kind of puts you in a spot where you're looking at the blockade and your thought is, I need to go turn in the quest to the big glowy Sylvanas Warchief person. But if you're paying attention to what's going on, you can come up here and what's this? Tyrathan Court, a human. Why is he up here? This looks like a bug, right? Like you're first kind of seeing this and you're thinking to yourself like, that's weird. It makes sense if you've read the Vol'jin novel, however. Tyrathan Court is a character in that novel who becomes battle friends, effectively, with Vol'jin, learns how to speak Troll, and the two of them have an interesting pact. That being that if one of them dies in battle, the other will avenge. So you can talk to Tyrathan Court, and he will say things to you that you can understand because he's speaking Zandali. He speaks Troll. So it's not even like a gameplay thing where Blizzard's like, oh, you know, he's an NPC in the Horde area, you should be able to talk to him. No, he's actually legit able to speak to Horde players because he understands your language. So he says to you, please don't call the guards. I came to honor Vol'jin, not to cause trouble. He was a friend. We fought side by side against great odds. I owe that troll my life. We once swore to each other that should one of us be killed, the other would avenge him. Always thought he'd outlive me. Whatever it takes, I'm going to make good on my promise. So, cool little bits of lore here. I actually did not play story far enough in Legion to see if this happens, and even if it did, that would be a huge spoiler, so I'm not going to say much. From what I've looked into, I don't know that he appears, but the fact that he is here is pretty cool. Like, even if nothing else is done with this is a fantastic little like book tie-in without beating you over the head with it. It's just kind of an Easter egg that's there for you to find. But we now have a quest to do now that we've uncovered our cool friend that's hiding in the background there. So we're going to run up and talk to Sylvanas. Also, we got Nathanos Blightcaller and Bane and Lorthamar, all the whole crew's here. And also, she's quite pissed off. So, we pledge ourselves to the Horde. She accepts our pledge of loyalty. So this is the whole thing where now we're trying to continue forward. And Lorthamar and Bane back her up and say, we're great.
We will slaughter anyone who stands in our way.
So now we get to complete that. But there's one problem. Alari the Soul Eater, our good friend of Demon Hunter fame, has arrived.
We are all that stands between the Legion and annihilation.
And calls out quite the obvious, which is, why would all the Horde leadership gather and not be noticed by the Burning Legion? That's a good question.
If we do not meet again, die well.
So again, similar to the Alliance quest line, we have all the leaders of the faction gathered up, and now we have a bunch of demons. The one difference is, because this is outdoors, you get to fight lots of different baddies. And unlike the Alliance quest where you have portals that you have to shut down, this you just get to you just have to kill a bunch of demons. 12 demons instead of the 8 demons, or I think it was 5, and then you have to get the 3 portals for Alliance. So yeah, we just have to kill some stuff. God, I love the sound effects for Paladin. It has to be said that the new sound effects for all their attacks are the best, especially for Prot, because like the shield attacks and everything sounds really like chunky in a good way. My consecration just killed him. That's great. Yeah, so we just have to kill a couple more. And one more. Pick a demon, any demon. Oh, Shard of Hate. That looks like a good target. He's got a lot of health. I guess not, because I just killed him super fast. I do still have the buffs from Broken Shore, that's probably why, because I have versatility, you know how good of a buff that is, and most importantly, the holy enchantment to do holy damage.
What are we if not slaves to this torment?
And now similar, again, once to the Alliance quest, now that you've done all this and freed the gate, effectively. I mean, it's still phased, so you have to leave the phase for it to kind of disappear, but we now get to go talk to the Illidari in Orgrimmar, and they're going to give us follow-up quests to go do demon invasions, and from there you get your whole pre-quest or pre-legion quest chain. So it'll go on to the Dalaran stuff and forward from there. We'll actually take a look at that here real quick.
Lord Illidan knows the way. Do not give in to the power of the Legion.
Okay, so now I have the quest to do a demon invasion, but then I also have Khadgar's upgraded servant.
Greetings, Illidan. Word has reached me of your efforts to push back against Legion invasion forces. I am reluctant to interrupt such important work, but I could use your help in a matter of diplomacy. I fear I am about to anger an old friend. Dalaran has been repositioned.
So now we have to go to the Cleft of Shadow and take the portal.
You'll find it over Deadwind Pass, just above Karazhan. Please join me here.
Oh, there's the portal. And the nice thing about this is it does take us to Legion Dalaran, so if you look around and you find yourself thinking about how high-res the textures look or how much better it looks compared to old-school Dalaran, that is why. So it does have the new upgraded textures. Some of the props in here are out of date, but when you get to the next phase of these quests, they go to the fully like super high-res textured things, because there are some differences here. The stonework becomes far more detailed. Sparkle effects are way more present in all the stone, which you can kind of start seeing now that it's all loaded. You get your Ronin statue, which sadly does not yell about citizens of Dalaran. Despite the guards, you actually can explore the other faction, so I can come in here and kind of hang out. Interestingly, the warrior trainer is hostile, but the paladin and hunter trainers are not. These trainers are hostile, and these trainers are not. That's oddly inconsistent. If I were an Alliance paladin, this would be where I get to the hall underneath Light's Hope Chapel. That portal is not active for anybody right now, because of course Legion's not out until the 30th. There's some other class hall portals up here if I remember correctly. I think there's like one more. but it's been a while since I've been on beta again, so I don't remember fully. All I know is that for the Demon Hunter one, I had to do a double jump and glide off the flight path. So, hooray! Get to play class mechanics for once. That sounded really bitter. I like the game. I like class mechanics. I like that they're integrating class mechanics in a way that makes you have to use them more regularly instead of just figure it out. But anyways, we're going to move on and do the quest here. So we just have to talk to Khadgar. Khadgar, despite the what you might first think when you see his map location, is not hanging out there. Instead, he's off to the side here, just kind of chilling.
Gul'dan and the Legion must be stopped. Where you lead, we will follow.
So there's no voiceover here, but he says the Legion's attacks will only intensify. We must do whatever is necessary to bolster our strength. I will propose that we invite the Horde back into the Kirin Tor. To certain colleagues in the Council, this will be controversial. Speaking primarily of Jaina. Your presence is a testimony to the valor of the Horde. To some, that may not be enough. The Council is already assembled. Let's not keep them waiting. You do get some phasing here, but for some odd reason, pets and toys and props continue to show through. I am going to get out my selfie cam. I am going to try to spell cam correctly. Oh, right. It'd probably help if I close that. This is the most I've used this toy since I first got it. Just so you know, I'm not a heavy selfieer. Alright, so now it's time to address the Council. So Khadgar says, thank you all for gathering on such short notice. Khadgar, we don't have time to waste in beatings. The Legion is advancing and the Horde arms for battle. That's Jaina. Khadgar says, then I'll get right to the point. For the Kirin Tor to fight at full strength, we need the mages of the Horde to join our ranks. Jaina says, never. Do you hear me, Khadgar? Jaina, we know the pain that you've endured, but this is about... They obliterated Theramore. They left us to die on the Broken Shore. Again and again, they've proven to be monsters. Cowards. Aw, shit. I've made my case. With respect, I move for a vote. I'd argue you didn't make much of a case, Khadgar, but I kind of need you to be my bro here and get me back in, so... Jaina says, very well, but I consider your choice carefully. If you let those vermin back into the city, I will not be accounted amongst your ranks when you welcome them. So we have the vote, and it's actually 4-2. Khadgar obviously votes for it. Karlane, Vargoth vote for it. Modera votes for it, and then Jaina and Ansarum Runeweaver are the two nays. Ansarum Runeweaver being this guy, and Jaina, of course, being her. Right, so Jaina runs off in a huff, and Khadgar just kind of takes her spot like that. Okay. But anyways, we'll stop that here for now because the rest of the quest is fairly lengthy, but thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.